Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Becca. Today we're going to do a Sims build, and this Sims build is huge. I took around a week to do it because I think this is the largest house I've actually built so far. I won't say it's like the biggest house I've ever built because this is like on a 30 by 20 if I'm not mistaken. And I'm used to building on a 20 by 15, and sometimes I'll build on a bigger lot, but I've never built anything bigger than 20 by 15 for obvious reasons. And I actually had a really good time building this. This house has like 4 bedrooms. No, I'm sorry, wait. Yes, it has 4 bedrooms. I am counting the office area, but it's not a bedroom, it's just a home office. And it was actually pretty fun to build. I did enjoy this landscaping. It was pretty cool. The only thing I had that like really got me a bit sad was because when I was doing the landscaping, I was like in this really awesome vibe. I made like this little entryway into like the house, and I really dig it, like you guys are seeing here. I started putting all the little plants and finding out everything that I wanted to do with the house to see if it was gonna go. I hadn't even placed any windows yet. I just knew how I wanted to do like the outside, but then I saved the entire thing. Like I finished the landscaping. It took me like 2 hours to do the entire front yard. Just the front yard took me 2 hours to do because I went 100% into it. And then when I came back, all of the details had disappeared from my landscaping, and it just looked like this weird nothingness. And I actually got pretty sad because I took 2 hours to make this entire thing, and then I had to go back into the game, and then instead of just like recording everything that I was going to do, I actually stopped and I had to go back into the game, and I had to stop recording and do all of the landscaping, like all the details all over again, and make sure that it looked the way that I did it the first time. And it even like one of the bushes kind of went out of place because like when I went back into the game, move objects was like deactivated for some reason, and I always have move objects on, and I don't know what happened. Everything was just out of place, and I just had to redo everything. But besides that, I actually had a fun time building this landscaping. I wanted to do something a bit bold this time. I didn't just want to do something like small, I just wanted to do something crazy. I actually went on Pinterest to get some ideas on how I could build this landscape and how I could make this build look prettier. And I've started seeing like all these little pretty walkways like to the house, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and do something like this. But I didn't really actually copy anything. I just made it my own because most of the things that I saw had like these huge ponds, and it was just like crazy landscaping from various houses, and I was just like, oh my god, these are so cool. I want to do something like this in my game. That was technically me working on this, and then I just started doing little by little. Like when I added these flowers in the front of the house, what I wanted to do with these flowers was to make it look like, oh, the person that lives here is still messing around with the garden, and that's why they still have like these crazy wild flowers, where the rest is all a bit like well done. So I actually had a really good time with that. Here I'm messing with the roof. I did have a lot of problem with the roof that I wanted to do. Like every time I tried to do something, I didn't like the roof for like the first veranda. I was just like, oh, no, this is not going to work out. This is not the way I want it to look. It doesn't look good. No, I can't do this. And I actually ended up changing that roof. I just left it without a roof. And as you guys can see, when I was fixing the roof still, I ended up changing the roof, but the landscaping disappeared, and it's kind of pretty sad for me because I took so much time building that, but I do fix everything. I just don't do it now. It's gonna magically show up again. So that was me fixing it. But when I was building this house, I kind of had this crazy idea. I really enjoy this movie called True Lies. It's a 90s movie. It's with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. And technically, the story is the guy's a super spy. His family doesn't know, and his wife ends up getting involved in a whole bunch of crap, and she ends up finding out about it later on. But it's actually a really fun movie, and when I started building this, I already had the idea of one of the Sims being a detective. Just to clarify that the Sim that does live in this house, he is a detective. I literally told him to get a job, and like his job is like being a detective. Like all his traits that I did literally go into being a detective. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. And like his wife is like a stay-at-home wife. She does like she helps out with the house, with the kids and everything. So what I was thinking about is I'm going to put his traits to be a detective and everything, but later on I'm going to change it into the agent. I'm going to turn him into an agent, because what my storyline would be for him, like for this family, is that he used to be a detective and he was really good at his job. Like he was really good at his job, and he got noticed by an agency and they wanted him to be part of their agency, but like he didn't tell anyone that he was an agent and everything, and he just went with it. So like now him and his family, like he has 3 kids and his wife, they just think he's like a really cool cop, but they literally do not know that he is actually like this super agent that is doing like a whole bunch of awesome things. So I actually really did decide to go with that storyline because it actually went well, because the Sim that I created was supposed to be a detective, and his wife, like the Sim that like in his wife, was actually just to be like a stay-at-home mom who like plants and everything. That's why I literally went overboard with the landscaping. I actually do end up adding a couple more details to the landscaping as well afterwards, because I actually wanted to incorporate that whole storyline for my Sim, that like she stays at home, but she's always occupied, not only like with her kids, but she's actually just always occupied with a lot of things. And most of the things that she's occupied with is just like simply with the garden, because I do end up adding a garden also in the backyard. So I actually really enjoyed doing this storyline, because I think it would be something really cool, like your family doesn't know that you're like a super spy, and then boom, all of a sudden they find out. Like I don't know how I would incorporate that in The Sims, but because I think like they actually do know that you're like a spy or something. You're like a secret agent. I don't know. I've only played like that part when I was like in The Sims 2. I don't think I've actually ever played that career choice in The Sims 4. I normally always do like entrepreneur and writer. My Sims are always an entrepreneur or writer, so I really did stick with that, and I wanted to do something different for my Sims this time, and I decided to pick up on the storyline because I actually thought it would be so fun to have like a secret agent, and he has this huge house because of all the money he got from all of his successful missions and everything. And I really loved this entire build. So I'm moving on to the back of the house and everything. I actually had fun building the back of the house. I don't know, I think it's because I already had the feel a little bit more of what I was doing in the front yard. I wanted to make it a bit less in the backyard, and I added like a little pool also there. I added a lot of plants everywhere because, as I said, like the Sim, she is a gardener. She loves plants, and she's the one that's like started decorating the entire house so she could pass the time, and she has like really high traits in gardening, so like all of her plants are always like really pretty. I actually took that cactus, well sorry, it's not a cactus, it's a succulent, and I actually also put it in in like one of the bushes near the windows, because I wanted it to give the impression that like she just stuck all of those little bushes that like all those little succulents over there, and she grew them as well there so they could look pretty, because succulents can grow practically anywhere and they're so beautiful. Like so the cactuses, they're just beautiful plants. When it comes to the gardening part, I do shrink it a little bit. I do push like the fence back a little bit because I really didn't want it to be that big in the entire area. I ended up only now putting paint in the entire house. The house is like a really light shade of blue, though in The Sims it actually doesn't really look blue. It kind of looks like it kind of does look blue, but from my point of view, it just looks white, but it's like a little light bluey white, like pastel blue. I'm not gonna lie, when I started doing this little entryway to the garden, to the backyard / garden, I wanted to go crazy and add plants everywhere, and that's technically what I did. I just started adding plants to the walls. I had a table, I added a plant there. I added some lights because I wanted like the house to be very well lit in the backyard. And then, like I said, afterwards I go back to in the front yard after I redid all the paint job for the landscaping, and I added a bit more bushes on the walls to make it look really cute, like well grown. I wanted it to feel very homey. It took a long time to do, but I really felt I really enjoyed this. So this is the part where I told you guys that I pushed everything back because I wanted to add the chairs, because there's a swimming pool, we need chairs. And I just added a walkway so like they can go into the garden and plant and everything. And I didn't want it to be so big, like I said, like it was before. I just wanted it to look like a pretty garden that she takes care of, and I didn't want it to be a lot of things. So I just did that. I just made it like very warm and just something natural and pretty. I didn't really want to do anything too overboard, as I said, but I think I did make the backyard like as pretty and less cluttered as possible, like from the actual front yard. I do add more plants on the wall because I really like this plant, like these little wall of flowers that we can put on the walls. I think it's really cute, and I love the way that it was decorated. I do change a little bit like the color scheme over there with the pots. I could have left the pots, I do know that, but I just decided that I wasn't going to leave the pots there. I wanted it to be something like she actually grows it like from the ground, like as in like she's a great finger, she's good at gardening, so she can do it by herself. On the outside of the house, I think I took my time with the outside of the house, because normally I do have a tendency of literally just making the inside of the house like really fast, like just furnishing everything really fast, because I don't know why, I just see like I know the kind of rooms I wanted. And what I did differently that I normally don't do, I normally like leave everything on the same level and then just unlevel like one room or another room. This time I made the dining area and the kitchen and also the living area. I put the little steps on it because I actually wanted it to be like in a lower level, just so I could have that little pathway going to the outside of the house, like from the backyard. And I also put like the stairs there. I actually just thought that it would look more cohesive and more pretty. Here I'm doing the kitchen. I will say that I really enjoyed doing this kitchen for lots of reasons, to be honest. It was a really big kitchen. I got to put like a huge table in the middle. I just love the idea of like here's the kitchen, and I can just place everything on the balcony and I could cook there, and then you turn around, there's the dinner table. You don't have to go anywhere. It's the kitchen with the dinner table. I really like that. The choices for also the cupboards. I had to put them up a bit later on because I thought it was too low, especially because I put like really high walls at the on the bottom. So I just put the ward, like the cupboards, up so it could have a little bit more space later on, and it would look prettier than just having like that huge thing open at the top. Yeah, so I just started like placing all the clutter. I have like a whole bunch of clutter on the floor, and I started making sure like where I wanted to put all the things, so then I could just like make sure that it looks prettier and everything. I did put the size of the espresso machine a bit down because I don't know, I thought it was a bit too big, so I decided to just lower it a bit, lower it a little. And I also do place like more cupboards on the other side as well because I wanted to make it look more as realistic as possible and just have like a lot of clutter everywhere, because normally kitchens have a lot of clutter. Even if it looks clean, kitchens will always have a lot of clutter. And I do leave a lot of balcony spaces, so we do have loads of things like everywhere near on the balconies, just making it nice and homey. So we do have a lot of fun with that. When it came to deciding the flooring, I decided that the entryway, the backyard, and well, it's actually the patio, and also the kitchen would have tile, and the other rooms would have wooding, because I wanted to make it a bit different. I wanted to make it a bit cozier, just because I don't think I would actually like to be in a kitchen with wooden floors. I don't know, I just find it so weird, and it just doesn't cross my mind having a kitchen with wooden floors. I think it would look so weird and so distracting, so I just literally decided to go with something like that. I do use different curtains this time. I actually decided to go with a couple of different curtains. In the kitchen especially, I changed it up, though I do use the same curtains that I normally do. I think it's just because I like the way the curtain goes, so I kind of end up using that all the time. Not really, I just don't like the curtains in The Sims, but hopefully after I get a couple of other packs, I'm gonna get new curtains because I've seen there are other curtains. I just need to get the other packs. So here I'm just laying down a couple of the wall paint. So here's the thing, I do end up adding a little wall there before I start the side of the room, which is like the study area. I made it a really big study area for the fact that I wanted to add like a huge piano in it. I just thought it would look so cute, and it really does. So I added a huge piano here. When you see me duplicating this bathroom, it's mostly because I just changed this little bathroom into this little washing area, because I didn't like, for a house this big, no one is going to use coat hanger. Like, I still don't remember the name of the damn thing, but either way, I just used a washing machine and a dryer. Going back, so I just wanted to furnish the study area a lot, and I wanted it to look very chic, simply for the fact that I was thinking, okay, maybe like the mom likes to play the piano and she wants her kids to learn, or maybe one of the kids are learning how to play the piano and they have like a music aspiration, and just adding it there and making it look very homey and very vibing would be awesome. And also I wanted lots of books. I wanted a bookcase. I do end up taking the bookcase out, one of the bookcases, and I added to the wall near the couch, and I was gonna add some windows there, but I decided that wouldn't look really cool, so I just ended up adding like a whole bunch of paintings. I do end up adding this tapestry that I think it comes with the vampires pack, which I loved so much, and it gave this cool vibe to the room because it literally just looks like a family tree, and I really enjoyed that, and I thought it was so pretty, and just the simple vibe that I wanted to put in the room made it look really good. For the living area, I just took all the colors and I mashed them together. Not really, I just made everything white. The furniture is white except for the carpet. My problem with curtains as usual, I just go back to the original curtains. I just made them black for the fact that it just vibed better with this room, because I didn't really like the vibe of the room, especially for the family that I was creating it for. It didn't really go along with it, so I just left it the way it was, and I added a whole bunch of clutter. And actually, to tell you the truth, I didn't clutter this room as much as I thought I was going to. I cluttered the office more than I did the living area, because I wanted it to be clean. And this office, at first I was like, okay, like she only comes in here to do like yoga because it's like a really large area and it's chilling. But then I thought about it, you know what, maybe he works here because like he needs a little space to work, because everyone thinks he just works as like a detective, so he has his own room to work on all of his projects. And I just decided to put like a whole little bunch of architecture, just photos and frames up, and a little bookcase for him as well. And I also end up cluttering. I also have put like a box of files on the floor just to make it look even more cluttered. Like this is where he needs to work. This is where he needs to add, like, where he lives most of the time, but he just works a lot. And I also added this huge little fish tank. I just had to add this. It just looked so pretty, and it vibed so well with what I was going for. It's like his moment of peace is just looking at that aquarium in his office. Going into the girls' bedroom, I was a bit confused, because at first I was going to have her room with the balcony and the bathroom, but then at the time I was like, no, if it was me, I would give up the bathroom just to be able to have like my own wardrobe, which is technically true. I would have given up a bathroom to have my own wardrobe. And I imagined that like they have a pet, maybe a cat or maybe a dog, depends on you guys. For me, it would probably be a cat, and the cat stays most of the time in the room. Like they have two pets, and one stays in her room and one stays in the older brother's room as well. And I started putting posters up on the wall. I decided that, you know, like teenagers have a lot of posters, and I thought it was really cool because I had like, maybe it's like her favorite actor, because I used to have like a whole lot of posters when I was a teenager, which wasn't that long ago, but anyway. And I had like another one that could have been like, you know, her favorite book series, and it turned into a movie, and I also added it to the wall. I added a couple of clutter like makeup, and I added the vanity mirror just to make it look very cute and very girly, because it had to be very into the style that I wanted it to be, especially for the girl. Like how I was imagining it, you know, she's very into this simple life, but some of the things are still a bit cluttered. For the boys' room, I wanted to give it this little touch of, you know, it's my room, I'm making it my own, but my mom decorated it kind of style. So I do end up making a lot of clutter for his room as well, and I stuff posters up on the wall, and he has this little balcony where he can just sit, because what I was thinking about him is like he loves looking at the stars. He wishes to become an astronaut, and he has like a whole bunch of posters of astronauts and going to the moon and all the science fiction things on his walls, favorite bands and everything. And I really love that, and like a whole posters of like video games and everything. I also found this one with book series, like these two little book series, which one was reminded me a lot of Harry Potter, and I was like, this is definitely going up in the girls' wall as well. And I just added that as well. And like he's really into his space and science and everything and games, so I really just decorated it to be like that. When it came to the parents' room, I wanted to make it like very neutral. I do end up changing the door position because I did want them to have also their own wardrobe inside instead of just using like a dresser drawer. I just wanted to also for them to just have like their own wardrobe. I did put I did put a wardrobe in his room. I was just thinking about the boys' room. I was like, did I forget to put the wardrobe in his room? No, I did put the wardrobe in his room. I think I just forgot to put a dresser into the smaller kids' room. But besides that, I do add another tapestry. Since I kind of think it could be like a tapestry downstairs to show off like the family for everyone, and then another tapestry upstairs, but it could be like it symbolizes something else, but we don't know what it is. Like it's very private, that's why that one's just in their room. And I really enjoyed like the secrecy, especially because like the husband is a spy, and like everything has these little codes imbued like everywhere, and I really wanted it to be like very neutral. For even though I do put like a pink carpet under the computer desk, but I mostly think that okay, this is where she comes in, like she uses the computer like in their room, like this is her area, because like the office is all his, so he just like she goes there and she uses the computer there, like that's her private area. So I just wanted to do that. The bathroom is just something more simple. I use the robes. I love those little robes that they have. I just thought it was so cute. I also put a little robe in the back of the girl, like the other bathroom that's shared between the smaller brother and the eldest sister. I thought it was so cute. I had a little desk. I was gonna add like a computer, but then I was like, he's a kid. He doesn't need a computer right now. He just needs to sit and do his homework and think for himself. That was kind of where I was going for it. And I do clutter his room with a lot of toys. I shrink a couple of toys, put it on top of the desk. I leave space so when he comes home he can sit and just like do his homework there. I just add like lots of stars because maybe he's inspired not only from like the way like his brother is into science and space, but also his dad and like being a cop. So he just like he has like this really colorful room, and it's very kid friendly, and I just love the way it ended up turning like very kid friendly. I do have changed the wallpaper because I thought it wasn't like vibing with all of the little animals and little portraits I put, because I really wanted them to look really cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'm leaving you guys now with the screenshots of the entire house, and I will see you guys on Thursday for an art video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys and have a great day. Bye guys.